Fetching a document in Firestore using predicates can be tricky because Firestore querying capabilities are limited when it comes to performing certain types of filters and aggregation directly. Additionally, obtaining the count of documents that match specific criteria isn't straightforward, as Firestore doesn't natively support count queries, requiring workarounds that can be complex to implement. This video will walk you through the step-by-step process, making these concepts clear and manageable. Also, make sure to check out my super discount. The link is down in the description and you can get a hold of all of these products. Go ahead and check them out. It's really, really nice. The link is in the description. Now, today, I'm going to take it forward from the previous episode. Again, the link for the whole playlist is in the description. We are going to talk about Firebase's fetch. Now, I'm using my very own Firebase collection GitHub repository for this, so it makes it a lot more easier to do so. Again, if you are interested, go ahead and check out the whole playlist to know how to add that. But basically, we have a reference to the collection, in our case, the posts collection, and then we can do some stuff. And what we did is, we made the CRUD operations. That's the one of the previous episodes. And we fetched one post with an ID. So we just grabbed post collection, fetch one with an ID, and we did have an ID. You know, if you have the ID available, then you can do so. Today, we are going to fetch multiple ways. Like I'm going to guide you through the whole fetch functionality, and then some more particular ones, like fetch one with some predicates and fetch count. And in the next video, we are going to fetch some more, not just one, and then learn about paginated fetch, which is really, really important. It's quite cumbersome to do with just the basic API from Firebase. So let's just take a look at this fetch functionality. And again, I'm just going to go with the plus and minus toolbar items right over here. It doesn't really make sense, of course, but it's just a demo tutorial. So fetch. And we're going to fetch some posts. Let me just scroll all the way down and add that function of fetch. And let me just go real quickly to my Firebase console, and let's grab the Firebase tutorial and then our Firestore database. And most probably we are going to have some posts already. There we go. We have some posts. And what we want to do is just take a look at how we can fetch all of these, some of these posts. Let's see what options do we have. So first of all, we want to add a task and a do catch statement, because this will be an asynchronous throwing functionality. So let's just print that out. Our errors, localized description. Okay, there we go. And then try await. And then posts collection. As I already told you, we are accessing our post collection right over here. And then just add a dot over there. And as you can see, there are quite a lot. But for a starter, we are going to take a look at this first one, fetch and of type. So this is the most comprehensive one. I'm just going to go through some of, basically all of the functionalities. And then I'm going to go for the fetch count and the fetch, one of those that are really specific. By the way, you can do any of the ones that are coming up with this one. So fetch, and then we have this fetch type. If you add another dot over there, then you can just select count, first few, ID, more, one, and some. So with the ID, that's what we did previously. So we fetched one with an ID. And then we can just fetch one with some predicates. That is what we are going to take a look at next. And then we can fetch more, and there are some options like paginated options. But if you don't care about that, then you can just fetch some, and that's not just one, but some, and you have only predicates, as you can see. With the option, you have some more, but before we go and fetch some more with some paginated options, then you just start fetch the first few with some paginated options and some predicates. Okay, so just a heads up that you can do these right over here, and we are going to cover the paginated options and the predicates, all of that stuff. But just so you know, you do have access to all of the functionality with the simple fetch and the fetch type. Okay, I've put together something special for you. For a limited time, you can get everything I've ever made for just $99. Yep, it's usually $1,300 and more. That's more than 90% off. Why the huge discount? Simple. I want to help more developers build amazing apps faster and smarter without spending a fortune. Grab it now via the link in the description. So today we are going to take a look at fetching one. So dot fetch, and there is this one with ID, we covered that, but there is this other one with predicates. And let's just talk about these predicates. The query predicate is available through the Firestore, Firebase Firestore library, and it's basically predicates for what we want to fetch. Now let's take a look at what we have over here. We have message and then score and maybe user ID. Let's take a look at the other one. We have score again, message. Let's just say, let's just fetch all of those that have a score of 0. Let's just see. It's an array, so we want to add those two parentheses, and then dot, and then you have all of these. Again, these are provided for you by the Firebase SDK. And then we are going to select is equal to, and then I'm going to go with the field and the value. But you have tons over here. So is in, is less than equal, limit to, order by, limit. There's quite a lot. Go ahead and check all of them out. So is equal to, and the field would be score, and then the value is 0. You may add multiple ones, by the way, right over here. And then you have a result of call to fetch one predicate is unused. Let's see what are we going to return here. It's an F of optional. Now F is a Firestorable, as you can see right over here. What is Firestorable? Basically it's codable and some other stuff. Again, take a look at the whole playlist where I talk about the models. That's where the Firestorable comes in. Basically what we are going to get back over here is one post, because we are on the post collection. So let post of type post, you must say that this is a post, because then it's not inferring automatically. Okay, and this will be an optional one. So let's just see, we are going to add, well, I believe we can just add in here an optional post, and then that should fix it. Okay, so this post will be an optional one. Okay, that's fine. You can just do whatever you want. You can guard unwrap it or if let unwrap it. For now, I'm just going to print it out, post, and then that found. Now, we are going to fetch the one with a score of 1. Now, this is just, let's not fetch the one with the score of 0, because we are going to have multiple ones. I beg your pardon. We are going to the one with the 0. And of course, you can just go with the user ID or the message, whatever you feel like it. Okay, just fetching 1. Okay, so yeah, let's just see that in action. We do have that on the plus button. Let's build and run our project, and we should see basically the post printed out. And it should be the one with the post message and 978. Okay, let's just see it. Let's wait for this to build. Okay, now let's tap on the plus button. And there we go. We have a new post. Let me just make that a little bit larger. And then ID message. And here it is. The score is equal to 2. So that's how you can grab one one document from your database. Now, next we are going to fetch the count of the database. We are going to fetch some and do the paginated fetch later on. That's a whole tutorial. It deserves its own video. Finally, we are going to fetch the count. Now, you might be tempted to fetch the count, like, just have some predicates and then fetch all of the documents and then count them. But that is really inefficient and it's really expensive in terms of monetary matter too. Now, there is a better way of doing it, and it's just going to give us back the count. So let's just do that. Again, I'm going to put it on the plus button right over here. And then let's just name this fetch count. Okay. And then let's just have that new function over here, fetch the count. And then I'm going to copy out the task and the do catch, so we don't have to do that again. And finally, we just say let count equals try await, and then posts collection. And you could just go again with the fetch, or just type out fetch count, and then just add some predicates. Now you could just go with an empty one. Most probably I'm just going to set it to nil, and then you just go fetch count and fetch everything. Please take a look at the upcoming versions of Firestore collection. But let's just have some predicates, and let's just go with an is equal to, and the score now should be 0. So you should basically fetch 0 right over here, and let's just print the count out, and let's just have a count of that presented. And let's build and run, and let's see that. As you can see, it's really, really straightforward. Build has succeeded, really nice. And let's tap on the plus button. And as you can see, count is 2. Really nice. Now let's see if the score would be true. Let's just build and run. Now we should see a count of 1. Let's just take a look at it. The plus over there, count is 1. And let's just have a count of, 10. The score of 10. And now we should get back a count of 0, because there are no posts with a score of 0 in our collection. So plus button count equals 0. So that's how easy it is to just fetch the counts. Now in the next episode, we are going to take a look at fetching some more, a lot more, not just one, and then the paginated fetch. So see you in the next one. And if you like these types of tutorials, go ahead and check out the link in the description where you can grab all of my products. Go ahead and check all of these out at a huge discount. The link is in the description.